So I want to talk a little bit about finding my culture. A friend of mine and I were talking about this today, actually. And, I did some other material, some other content where I talked about, some of the prejudices that I had about my own culture. And I've had some deep prejudice against myself being First Nations and other people being First Nations and just the whole ideal. There's some memories that came to me this week about I remember when I was playing hockey and I'd be standing at the face-off dot in a hockey game. And I remember numerous times where the person on the other side, on the other team, would say like, "Hey, wagon burner," or "Hey, you this or that," and you drunken Indian, and all these kinds of things. And it doesn't matter what my subconscious hears. At some point, it starts to believe that. I've learned a lot about the subconscious. It doesn't matter what it hears. At some point, it will take that belief and it will ingrain it in the subconscious. And there was a lot of those types of things as I grew up where I heard these types of things. And then I would go out into the city because I grew up in the city, Calgary, Alberta, and I would see the reflection of what these people were saying. So this subconscious belief of our culture was distorted from a very young age, and I did not want to be First Nations. And I spent my whole life trying to not be. I ran away from my culture. And then through the burning down of my life at 40 some years old, I had to come into recovery. And like I had said on a previous video, I stood beside a powwow drum in my first year recovery, and I had my eyes closed and I listened to the singers and I listened to the drum, and I knew I could feel it in my DNA. And I knew that I needed to find more of this. Thus started my journey. And by this time I was praying and I was meditating and I was asking Creator to show me the way. And He had put a number of people in my path, First Nations teachers, elders, ceremonialists, that have really pulled me along the way. And my interest in culture has grown and grown and grown to the point that I just want to learn. And the amount that I've learned in the last 5 years by, directing my life towards my culture and finding out as much as I can, like I've barely put any scratch in the surface of what the knowledge is in culture. And, I've been helper at sweats, and I've been, an attendee at bundle openings, and I went to creation stories and listened, and I've just really enjoyed learning about where I come from. And when I look at why I had to use drug and alcohol, and why I had to use so many other aspects to fill a hole inside me, I think in large part it was my identity that I never was in touch with. And as I've walked down this path, like this is a big year for me. Like I'm in my second fast. My second fast is coming right up. I'm nervous and I'm excited, and I don't know what is in store for me for my life. But I know one thing. I know in our culture, there's a lot of direction in it's for the people, it's for the people, it's for the people. That's what my recovery program has taught me. It's about other people. And our culture is very similar. And I'm really trying to align my life for other people. And it's not like I'm trying to align my life. I've actually changed my career. I've changed my whole life because working with other people, other drug addicts, alcoholics, people that suffer the spiritual malady, working on one-on-one with them has changed my heart. It's changed me deep on the inside in ways that I can't explain. And I'm sitting here today a totally different person than I was 6 years ago, 10 years ago. And I don't have to be the same person anymore. I can be a new person every day. I can be a better person every day. And if there's one message in this for other First Nations people that are struggling, and there's a lot of things that society tells us that we believe that we've never really had a choice to believe. There's a lot of belief systems and things that we see that influence our thoughts and our beliefs that we don't really even understand. And getting in touch with our culture is really, really important. Practicing ceremony for me today is so important. Getting in touch with actually who I am as a human being, fucking mind-blowing. I spent my whole life trying to be somebody else, somebody society told me I should be. And today I don't have to be anybody else but me. And the best way for me to get to know me and to be me is working with other people who struggle from addictions or spiritual malady. What better way to look at yourself, talk to yourself, listen to yourself? Because you are me. And as I get to know your heart, I get to know my own heart. And like, it's a journey that I never would have expected. There's a line in the literature that I really love in our program. It's common sense thus becomes uncommon sense. The way that I used to live and think is actually the opposite. I don't need to go take out of life for me just to make me happy and satisfied. It's funny, the more that you give and you work for Creator and the people, the more that the people and Creator want to work for you. And as you vibrate at these higher levels, you're attracting what you're vibrating. Like, I attract really quality people in my life today because I'm trying to be a quality person. Water finds its own level. So whatever level you're vibrating at, you're going to attract that. And if you want a higher vibration water level, then you got to seek that shit out because it doesn't come by osmosis. Change of life doesn't come just because you want it and you wish it. You have to want it and you have to do some things to change it. And those things aren't always easy because we've fallen into our old patterns and belief systems out of comfort. And to get uncomfortable and try something new, that's where you build actual self-confidence, strength, and fortitude. And in essence, in that micro experience is where the meaning of life actually exists for me. Through the small circumstance and building strength and getting through it with Creator's help, I can go on to the next moment and build some more strength and more positivity.